Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and today I'm here with a design team post for Fairy Stamper. With the new release and the book theme with the release, I thought a circle of reading was kind of needed. So we're going to be using lots of different stamps. I'm using Kyra, Dragon, Bunnies, Hedgehogs, Squirrels. I am using the Phoenix, the Sentiment Relax from the new set, Snails, Mice, Wolves, Ink Cap Mushrooms, and the Tree of Knowledge. Now I'm using some background paper from Fairy Hugs also called Northern Lights, and I cut it down to 5.5 inches. And I basically took 1/4 of an inch off of all 4 sides to cut it down to that 5.5 inches because that's the size of the card I'm going to make. And there's a lot of stamping in this with all of these different stamps. But I thought with the new book release, or the new stamp release with the book theme and all of that, I just thought a reading circle was such a cool thought. And I thought, how much more fun could it be to have Kyra the fairy reading to all of the forest animals underneath the Tree of Knowledge. So that is the theme or the thought process that I was going through while I was creating this. So I'm just kind of decided where I wanted everything, and Kyra butts up perfectly with that tree, so she can just lean against the tree and read. And then I am just taking all of the different stamps and stamping them in the positions that I thought they would go well in. Now I am going to stamp the sentiment because I want to make sure that I kind of get that positioned where I want it, and it's a larger sentiment, so I want to make sure that it fits in there where it's supposed to be, and I can kind of fit the other things around it. And I love this sentiment. It reads, "You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and relax. All you need is a book." And I just think that is so perfect. And I love the thought of the fairy sitting around and reading to all of the forest animals. And then I included the dragon and the phoenix in with this as kind of what their imaginations are creating, excuse me, while she's reading the books to them about whatever fantasy with dragons and phoenixes that she's reading to them. So I just love this. Now, I thought the little mouse from the mice set was perfect with a little lantern because they are in a forest, so it might be a little dim, and he can hold up some light for her so she can continue reading. And I just picked one image from each of the sets that, kind of fit where I wanted them to go and kind of make sense. Now, the wolf I loved. I originally wanted to use both of the wolves in the beginning thoughts of this card, and then I decided just to use the one that was kind of laying there like, yeah, what are you having to say? So, like I said, I really had a lot of fun thinking about how to create this card, and I just love the thought of them sitting around reading. Now, I will be linking all of the stamp sets that I used in this card to the video, so you can jump right over and grab that. I'll also link the Fairy Hugs ink as well as the Northern Lights paper. Now, this little squirrel here is what I wanted to have because he's kind of standing on his paws, but it faces in the other direction. So I have a mirror stamp that I thought might work well with this. And it may have if I didn't quite have so many issues while I was doing this. But you can see there that the magnet is actually stuck to the stamp, so then that kind of created a little, I don't know, it was just off, and then because it's such a large stamp, it gets the paper, and I tried to stamp it again, and I just didn't quite like the look. It wasn't terrible, but I just wanted something a little clearer. And so originally I left it and I continued on stamping, and I kept kind of looking at it thinking, yeah, I just don't really like how that squirrel looks. I wanted it to be clearer. Well, the other squirrel that was part of this set, or one of the other squirrels that is part of this set, is just a little bit larger and sitting there eating a nut, which I thought was another cute idea, and it fit perfectly over the little squirrel that I used. So it ended up working out well, and I was able just to stamp over it without any issues. I cut down a standard size A2, or not A2, I'm sorry, I'm used to making A2 size cards. A 8.5 by 11-inch sheet of paper, and I cut it to 5.5 inches the long way so that I could create that 5.5 square inch card. And I am just going to take the panel that I created and adhere it to the card base. After that, I am going to take my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, and I'm going to put sparkle on kind of all of the fantasy images. So on the tree of knowledge, on the dragon, on the phoenix, as well as Kyra. And I did put a little bit right underneath the underside of the mushroom, the ink cap mushroom. Now you might have seen that I only had the small mushroom that I stamped because I did a little bit of stamp surgery on it so that they could be separated. There's plenty of room to be able to do that, and if I wanted to stick them back in there, it was certainly work as well. So I did that. And then to finish off this card, I'm actually going to do two more things. I used some Spectrum Noir, that is what I'm using now. I used some Nuvo crystal drops in Morning Dew, which I love these because they dry clear. And I put a couple accents around the phoenix and the dragon. And then I took a couple alcohol markers with yellow tones to them to kind of lighten up the lantern that the mouse is holding and have a glow around it. So that will show the glow of that Kyra's using to be able to read. So after I put these on, I didn't want to mess it up, so I did let them dry before I came back and colored in the lantern, just because I didn't want to mess it up, and I have a tendency to touch the Nuvo drops and stuff after I put it down there. But that will be about it for this card. I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy these videos. Let us know if you want to see something else. Be sure to check out Fairy Stamper, and make sure you check out the Facebook groups for Fairy Stamper Hugs as well. I hope everybody has a great day, everyone's staying healthy. Take care, have a great day, and I will see you next time.